Happy Tuesday, you guys. It's your girl Vanity V. I hope you guys are having a fabulous week. So, my apologies. I've been gone for the last 4 or 5 days. I was out of town, but I'm back just in time for this Carlos King interview with Erica Mena. That damn Carlos King strikes again. So, let me really quickly say, Carlos, I want to say that I appreciate you. He shouted me out not only on his Instagram page, but he did a live last week where he also shouted me out. He said I was beautiful and just said that he really appreciated my point of view and my take on him and, his, I don't want to say new endeavor because he's been doing interviews, but just his new format and just complimenting him, being very complimentary on how amazing of an interviewer that he is. Which you are, Carlos. Again, I'm always going to give people their accolades and, kind of point out when someone is doing well. I think it's important for us to do this in this commentary space. So, again, thank you, Carlos, for the shout out. And, Carlos, when you announced that you were doing this interview with Erica Mena, I was very excited because Carlos has this innate ability to, get people to tell all their business. Child, when so we're going to get into this interview, but when it started, immediately Erica, that ugly cry, within a few minutes and just spilling it all immediately. And I will say, Carlos, that is a gift, not necessarily getting people to tell their business, but allowing people to feel vulnerable enough with you where they feel comfortable to tell their business is a gift. And that's, I think that's a big part of why you are such a good interviewer. So I just wanted to say that and also say thank you for the shout outs. So let's get into the interview, you guys. Erica Mena, I am surprised, but I'm not surprised because, I'm a little surprised because of, 2 or 3 months ago, not even 2 or 3 months ago, recently when he interviewed Jocelyn, I had no idea that he was even involved in the Love and Hip Hop franchise. So naturally he brings her on, he brings Scrappy on, now Erica Mena, and so he obviously has very well established relationships with the people on this cast. So again, I was surprised because I didn't know about the Love and Hip Hop, but I'm not surprised because clearly we know he is cool with all the people. Erica Mena, I said Mena, I think Erica Mena. She has been all up in the blogs, I would say, the past, 3 or 4 months for comments that she made to Spice that are egregious. Do I believe she was provoked? Absolutely. And then she's kind of been following up with some really, I just, comments that make you feel like Erica just zip it, when she was talking about Bernice Burgos, and I think she gave her a compliment that was taken the wrong way, but considering how people are feeling about her with colorism, etc., all of that, I think, we were all like, Erica, just be quiet. So I was excited because I feel like as far as Erica Mena, she's very polarizing, but I also think there's a lot to be known and found out about her. And baby, I had no idea Erica's backstory. So, they start off, the interview, and, Erica's kind of trying to, maybe talk a little bit about what happened with Spice, and then, quickly Carlos redirects her, which I'm so glad he did. And he's like, look, let's just get into your backstory because, it's polarizing. That's what I'm saying. All the way around, Erica is very interesting, very polarizing. And I found out all kinds of stuff about her, which number one, Erica was born in jail, y'all. This woman was born in jail. So we find out that her mother was very young when she had her. I think I had no idea Erica had sisters, but apparently Erica has 3 or 4 sisters. She says that her mother had her first sister when she was 13 or 14. And then, she also had Erica young, so she probably had them back to back to back. And we find out that when she was pregnant with Erica, that she went to, I guess, try to, steal a crib. Erica said, she was like, look, None of your other sisters, it sounds like Erica's the youngest. None of your other sisters, I was able to put them in a crib. So when I was pregnant with you, I wanted to have a crib, right? Understandable. How she went about it, not so much. But either way, however she tried to get this crib, it landed her in jail. And then Erica said she was born in jail. And so she obviously, that kind of sets the precedence for like how your childhood, may transpire, the things that she was born into chaos, into something traumatic. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine what her mom was going through in jail. That's already tough. And then to have a baby in jail is very, very traumatic. So I had no idea. I don't know if you guys knew that. A lot of times we don't get the really deep backstory on some of our favorite reality stars. So she just was born into chaos. And then she says when she's 2, she goes into the foster care system. She said that, I forget something happened at the house where I want to say a neighbor called, CPS, and they took her and her siblings. She did say, luckily, and I want to say she said one of her sisters had a baby really, really young too. So I want to say that her nephew was also in foster care. So all of them, I think she said they went together. And from 2 to 6, she was in foster care. It's crazy when you hear this and she talks about this, some of her behavior starts to click. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, so now I can kind of understand why you are the way that you are. The different emotions that we've seen you display over the years. Erica's temper is like, she's quick to get crazy with somebody. But I imagine, she had to be really tough in foster care. Even at a young age, even though she was there from 2 to 6, she also said, Carlos, again, he's getting everything out of her. And she tells Carlos that she was abused. SA, like that kind of abuse. When she was in foster care, y'all. That made me sad. Erica, that really made me, and she said it was a lot. She said it was her foster family. I want to say it was a teenage boy that was there, or maybe the son. She said it was a lot of abuse. And she mentioned, like, I was in a high chair all the time. And so she was like, I just remember vividly spending a lot of time in a high chair, and like, you have children, you're not supposed to just be in a high chair forever. But she said, like, while she was in foster care, she remembered being in a high chair most of the time. And she said that she was abused by her foster brother, which is so sad. And it's crazy, you guys, because we hear about that. I think Marlo Hampton even touched on that. Like, when she was in foster care, it's something that's running rampant. And unfortunately, the foster care system, a lot of these families, they don't really care about the kids because they're getting, a stipend, some type of monetary benefit from getting the kids. And a lot of times they're just taking kids in. Now, I'm not saying every foster family is like that. I'm sure there are some fabulous, wonderful foster care families, but I think overwhelmingly, a lot of the families are taking these kids in, they're abusing them, yelling at them, putting their hands on them, and they want the money benefit that comes from having, these foster kids. So she did mention, which I thought was interesting, and she said that her family would come and visit her. Now, I'm curious, she did not elaborate more on this. I'm wondering, because when I think of foster care, I'm not thinking of like family members coming to visit you, you know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering why her family didn't take her. What was prohibiting them from taking her? Maybe, I don't know if she was mandated to be there. I don't know if there were like people in her mom was having drug issues. But yeah, she said that her mom would come and she would be really happy when her mom came. And then, she was devastated when she would leave her in foster care. And she said each time her mom would come visit her, she was hoping that her mom would take her with her. So, that was really sad to hear that. I've never been in foster care, but I lost my mom at a young age. So the abandonment that you feel, in situations like that, it's devastating, whether it be abandonment, actually being abandoned by your mother, or whether you lose a parent, it's still the same type of feeling. So I could definitely resonate with that, and that made me sad. She mentioned that, after she talked about her father. So she said that her real father wasn't really in the picture. He got into some legal trouble and was deported back to the Dominican Republic. And then she said that her father, the man who she calls father now, is a man that her mom married a little later when she got out of foster care. So I am glad that she was able to at least feel that type of love from a father figure, because a lot of times, y'all, not having a father in your life, we all know the term daddy issues, but that's a real thing. You know what I mean? Whether your dad's not there or whether he's there and he's just not present, daddy issues are a real thing. So she did say that she was able to feel that love and that void from a man that her mom met, after she got out of foster care. So then she talks about, at 6, she got out of foster care, and she said that when she got out of foster care, things were great. Her mom kind of changed her life. She was working, I want to say she was working with, people with special needs, children with special needs. And so her mom really changed. And that is when she met, her mom met, her dad now. And she said things changed. She said she would go to parties with her sisters. They would have a lot of fun at parties. And they love to dance, all of these things. She said, I forgot Erica's from New York. So she grew up in the Bronx. And she said that's when she was kind of exposed to dancing, music. She said she watched the West Side Story with her mom. And that's when she was like, okay, I know this is what I want to do. I want to be an actress. And then she said, she would try. She was a video girl. Did y'all know Erica was a video girl? I didn't know any of this stuff about her. And I think that is what we love about these Carlos King interviews, is that it could be a reality star that maybe we like or maybe we don't like, but we learn so much about them. And I always like to get to know people for real. You know what I'm saying? Obviously we don't know them personally, but like to actually see the other side of the person, to see them vulnerable, for them to feel real. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of stuff on Love and Hip Hop is so fake. We know that some of the storylines are fake. It's like, I don't know what to believe. So, like we got to kind of see her backstory. She talked about that. She talked about how, she would enter different contests, J-Lo lookalike contests. She said, like, J-Lo was her idol. She was another Latina. She said she would take the 6 train like J-Lo. And so, that's where she kind of got her exposure. She said she loves to dance, which I ain't never seen Erica dance. I'm not going to say nothing because I don't know. I cannot confirm or deny, but she said she's a good dancer. She said she was doing all the little reggae dances. She said she loved reggae. She used to wind it up and eat the Jamaican girls up. That's what she said in the interview. So we'll take her word for it. I don't know if I believe that part, Erica, but I'm gonna let you live. But no, on a serious note, it was great to see that her life kind of changed once she got out of foster care, and her sisters, they had a different type of life. And she was saying she never told anybody until she was an adult that she was abused. She said because she just didn't want to ruin it. And she said because stuff got so good, she just didn't want to go back to that place, which, I can definitely understand why, you wouldn't want to kind of reveal that. You're trying to leave that life behind and move on with your family. So, I could definitely respect that. Although Erica, and maybe because there's going to be a part 2 to this interview, I hope you're in therapy. Maybe you are, or that you consider therapy, because you've been through a lot of shit, Erica, like a lot. I mean, you've been through a lot of stuff, girl. So, in therapy, you definitely learn, especially in your, coming of age years, that things that happen to you really shape, how you interact with people in your current relationships as an adult. The things that happen in your childhood, Erica. So, you might be an avoidant personality, which kind of sounds like it, how easily we'll get to some of your adult relationships. You were able to kind of walk away and be dismissive of things. And a lot of that is shaped in like the first couple of years of your life, if you felt abandoned or if you didn't get the proper care that you were supposed to get, Erica. So I encourage you, if you see this video, if you're not in therapy, you know, you definitely should enroll in some therapy, because it will, you know, definitely help, especially seeing the way that you just like, you were crying the whole interview with Carlos. I wanted to like give you a hug, because you were literally, this whole interview you were crying, so you could tell that talking is definitely your therapy. So continue with it. So anyway, you know, we kind of get into her meeting her son. Her son's name is King, which I love that name. Her son's father, and she was just saying, you know, he was kind of a hot boy. He put her on to certain things. And she said that is how she met Scott Disick. Y'all remember she was on the Keeping Up with the not Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but one of the Courtney Takes Miami, Courtney and Chloe or whatever. And I think that's what kind of gave her the exposure, I'm sure, in addition to the videos that she did, to like springboard her to the love and hip hop. So she talked about her relationship with, you know, her son's father, how that kind of, it just, you know, didn't work. Relationships don't work. And, you know, she was just trying to make it in Hollywood, you know. She was just, she knew this is what she wanted to do. She wanted to be on TV. She wanted to entertain. And, you know, he helped her with that, which is cool. And, you know, after Keeping Up with the Kardashians, that's when, you know, she kind of, her career took off. Obviously, she, you know, got on Love and Hip Hop. You know what she did say, y'all? Carlos was kind of talking to her about how her contract was set up and all kinds of stuff like that. She said her contract was trash. I think that that's so sad. I think she was saying she was just getting per diem a day, which is, and if you guys don't know what per diem is just like money for your food. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, and back then, you know, per diem's also based on the city you're at. So let's just say if you're visiting New York, your per diem may be more than if you're in Kentucky or whatever. So she wasn't getting anything. She didn't have a contract for real, and she was definitely taken advantage of. But she said, you know, she did scenes with Mona. She did a scene with Yandy, and you know, they liked her. She's charming. She's, you know, all of the things, you know, she's a villain, she's charming, she's funny, she's pretty, like all of the things that would make for a good reality star, she is. So of course she, you know, they scooped her up. And she was also saying that like Mona, at that time, Evelyn was popping. And she said that she felt that Mona was looking for like a Latina version for Love and Hip Hop. So, you know, she also said that she thinks that that's what played a part in her getting cast, which is interesting. I guess I see the correlation. Two different personalities, both very spicy, both pretty, but different. But I guess I get what she's saying with that. You know what I mean? Like Evelyn she was beautiful, witty, quick with the mouth, you know, all of these things. And Erica's the same way, quick to pop off. So I guess I do get where she's, you know, coming from with that. Interesting enough, she said that, y'all remember when she got into it with what's her name? The first scene that Erica was on Love and Hip Hop acting a fool with Kimbella. She said she felt Yandy was a lot of part of that. Side note, I don't like Yandy, y'all. I'm not even gonna go too deep into this. I've never liked Yandy. And I know Carlos wants to interview. Don't interview Yandy, Carlos. I can't stand her. She's so boring. Like, Yandy's so boring and like we just don't care. She's so fake and phony. Like, I like people, whether I like you or not, if you real, like, I'm interested to know more about you, and that ain't Yandy. But anyway, she was just saying how, you know, Yandy was, you know, one of the first people she filmed with, and she feels that Yandy is also a big part of that epic scene when she got into that blow up with Kimbella and they draws were showing and all that. Y'all remember that? But yeah, so she was just kind of talking about her beginnings in Love and Hip Hop and how her, you know, we're not surprised her contract was trash, but they loved her, you know, this and that. Now, also, before I get into some of the juiciness, her son. She talks about her son, and they're not talking yet about the spice stuff because they're gonna. That was the cliffhanger at the end of this video that Carlos did with her. But her son, I think people need to leave her alone about her son. She talks about her son, and I remember her saying that her son didn't want to film, that's understandable. He's a young man, he doesn't want to film. And she talked about everything that she sacrificed for him. And I think it's ironic that her mom is the one who's raising her son, giving her mom had, such a difficult time in the beginning of Erica's life. Now, let me ask you guys this. Do you feel like it's like, I don't want to say poetic justice, but do you feel like her mom really felt obligated to take care of her son because she wasn't there for Erica in the beginning of her life? I'm sure that played a part. She probably was like, I don't want to use the word failed, but she failed Erica in a lot of ways, specifically in the beginning of her life. So I'm going to do everything that I can do to make sure that your son feels what maybe I couldn't give to you, which I think is beautiful. You could see that, her mom has changed, and her mom wants to be there and wants to, be a good grandma and make sure that her grandson doesn't experience that. So I did know that Erica's mom takes care of her son. Erica's doing a lot. She's doing a Tubi movie a week, y'all. This lady is all the Tubi movies. She's in all the little horror movies. She was doing Love and Hip Hop. She was doing the Family Matters Love and Hip Hop thing. She was acting a fool with Safaris. She was doing all of the stuff. So, she needs help. And so I think that that's beautiful that her mom, and I think she said her sister helps too, is helping to make sure that he has a stable home. And that's true. She said, like, look, if I'm traveling, and of course she has mommy guilt, that's always going to be there. If I'm traveling, I don't want him bouncing all over the place. So my goal was to, number one, not put him with strangers, because she didn't want him to experience what she experienced in the different abuse, but to have a stable home where he's not switching schools every year and getting different friends. And so I think she did the right thing. I can understand that. Only she knows if she has spent enough time with her. I can't speak on that, but I think as far as making sure he has a solid footing, I think she did the right thing, and maybe that right thing was, ensuring that her mom was there. She said she retired her mom. So I think this is a beautiful full circle moment, and 180 from the way she grew up, but a full circle moment for her family to really be loving towards one another and have each other's back. So I'm here for it. But she traveled a lot. So she said her mom and her sister have helped her tremendously, which is beautiful. And then in addition to that, she said her son doesn't want to film. Now, she said, Carlos asked her directly, he said, Erica, why do people keep bringing up the fact or saying that, saying your son doesn't like you, which I don't like that. And so she was like, well, she said, it's not that he doesn't like me. It's just that sometimes I have to make hard decisions for him. He's a teenager. He doesn't like that. And sometimes I'm not his favorite person. I can relate to that. My daughter is 9. She's younger than his son. But sometimes it's like, no, you can't play Roblox. Put it up. No, get off FaceTime. Get off your iPad. No, you need to read. Kids hate that. Sometimes they're mad about that. So I get it. But she was like, people are assuming that he hates me because he doesn't want to be on film. And that's not the case. He just doesn't want to film. So, and that's really why I was mad about the spice thing. Because like I said, I don't agree with what Erica did. What Erica did was disgusting. But Spice was wrong too. And I think that just like skin color should be off limits, you talking about my kids should be off limits too. Like, don't talk about my son, talking about your son don't like you. Don't say that to me. Especially because you know that was gonna hurt me. And you like it, what Erica was talking to her about, it didn't fit the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't need to say that to me. It was a little heated, but Erica didn't disrespect her. So for people to keep coming at her son, I just don't like that. I mean, it's neither here nor there. She's not on the show anymore. You know, it is what it is. But I don't care what nobody says. I don't think that that was right. And I think that people need to leave this woman alone about her kids, her children. And hopefully with her being vulnerable and like letting us really see, like, I've been through a lot of stuff, y'all. And this is why I react this way. It's not right, but I'm just letting you know where it's coming from. Maybe people will ease up on her. So, but Erica, you keep doing what you're doing as far as making sure your son has a stable, loving household that you're able to, insulate him in. I think that that's great. So I'm all for that. Now, I forgot, y'all, that she was messing with DJ Envy. Child, I forgot all about that. So, and it's ironic, DJ Envy, that he went to my alma mater. He's older than me. I was not there when he was there. I came in after he left, but yes, he went to my alma mater. He's in a whole bunch of stuff with Caesar Pena, which I'm not even going to get into that. I'm just not going to, not right now. But I forgot that she had a whole relationship with DJ Envy. So she talked about that. And let me say this. I'm actually glad that she talked about it. I know she said and I respected what she said during the conversation. She was like, look, he's still with Gia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even going to totally trash this man, but I have to tell my side of the story. They wrote a book. They talked about it. Like, I need to clear my name because I've been out here looking like a homewrecker, and that's not what happened. So this must have been like in 2010, and it might have been, no, it probably was 2010, because that was around the time she was getting on Love and Hip Hop, and he had just got on the Breakfast Club, I believe. But yeah, she said she met him. He was DJing at a club. She was doing an appearance at the club. She met him there. Her friend introduced them, and it was just off from there. She said he was tricking on her, sending her to Miami. They were in a whole relationship. And obviously, Gia and Envy have 1,000 kids now, but at that time, they might have had 1 or 2. And she was like, yeah, men do this, you guys. They lie. They have whole wives and stuff, and then be trying to get with you. I mean, this is very common. Like, I cannot tell you how many married men that like just don't give a damn, and they're bold with it. Take you out to Mastros and all of these things, and want to eat out with you and do this and have wives and stuff and kids at the house. And I'm like, sir, do you not know that someone can see us? Like, y'all, you don't care? And she was like, I was his girlfriend. And I imagine, she didn't say how long it went on, but it probably was 6 months to a year, long enough for her to feel comfortable with calling him her man. And she said that they had a full relationship. Now, you know what, Carlos, you didn't ask? That I would have asked? This is what I would have asked her, Carlos. You did not say, but ma'am, did you ever go to his house? Because when women are like dating married men that really live with their wife, that's what I be wanting to know. Like, that's a telltale sign. If you can't go to his house, I'm not dating nobody that I can't go to your house. So I'm curious. Carlos didn't ask that, but I would have been like, what? You said you didn't know, which she might not. Look, stranger things have happened, but you say you didn't know that he had a wife, and I think that's true. But did you go to his house? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're dating him and you just think he has kids, if he didn't let you go to his house, and he probably wouldn't have, Erica, that would have told you right there. If he ain't letting you come over, he lives with a woman. But anyway, so she's, they're dating, whatever, and then she says one day she gets a call from Gia. And he's like, this is Envy's wife. And so she said she hung up and immediately called DJ Envy. And she said DJ Envy was begging her, baby, please do not say anything. She's going to take me for half of my money. Keep this on the low. And then she said that's the last time she heard from him. And the next thing, he was on the Breakfast Club. And I actually remember when this happened. And they're talking about it he's dogging her out on the Breakfast Club. And she was like, well, and this is the thing why, Envy, you ain't shit. You told me and lied and told me that or not even lied. You never mentioned that you're married, or you said you were single, right? You just had children. I didn't do nothing. So just because you got caught, why you got to dog me out? Why, you know what I'm saying? Like, why not keep it a buck? And like, why you got to now say, oh, I'm beneath you, and why was I cheating with her? What? Why you do that? And so she said she was so mad that she was like, I never spoke to him after that. And I remember when all of this happened, but we never, and you know, this is why sometimes your reputation precedes you. All we knew Erica Mena for was acting a fool on TV. We didn't really know DJ Envy for anything but being an upstanding DJ or whatever. So when you have a reputation already, and then something like this happens, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna kind of believe him. And she wasn't talking, and she was saying, not that she had a gag order on her, but she said that like she was encouraged to stay, you know, to not speak publicly about it. So now, and she said that I think this is like her first time really talking about it. So I thought that was interesting. Envy, you, I ain't gonna dog you out, Envy. I'll just leave it alone. So yeah, so she talked about that, you know, but it's just very interesting. She talks about Safari. She talks about how he was courting her for like 3 years, and how she was like playing him to the left. Safari's so corny. He's so whack. Like, I can't take Safari. Like, when you think of corny guys, he's like up there. Like, he's at the top of the food chain. He's so whack to me. I do not understand the appeal. Well, I mean, we know the rumors about whatever, you know what I'm saying? We know those rumors, but outside of that, he's an opportunist, he's fake, he's corny. Like, I can't take it. And I don't want no man that wants more limelight than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just cannot. So, you know, she talks about her relationship with him, and just how, you know, everything was great until they had to live real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're playing things out on reality TV. It's like a fairy tale. And then when COVID happened and they had to be locked up together, she was like, that's when she realized, like, he never really loved me. Which, duh, girl, he doesn't love anybody but Safari. You know, I'm sure he loves his kids, but outside of the kids and him, he don't love nobody. That man is trash. He's always going to be trash. Safari is terrible. Ladies, stay away from him. Like, I can't. There's nothing that he brings to the table. I can't even imagine he has good conversation. I don't know what y'all were talking about. But yeah, she talks about her relationship with him, and that she was just disappointed. She really wanted to be a wife. She really loved him. She wanted to put her all into it, and that it was just a total disappointment. You know, and she talks about, this was sad. She said one of her kids he didn't want. I don't know if it was the girl or the boy, but she said that he didn't want the kid, and that they had to work through that, and that they're really working now on co-parenting and everything. It's unfortunate. Hopefully they can kind of get themselves together, but he's trash, so I don't. Good luck, girl. But yes, y'all, this is getting lengthy. So that's the meat and the potatoes of the interview. Next week, when he drops part 2, is when they're going to get deep into the spice stuff. So I'm interested to see what that is all about. But I will say, I was very, very intrigued by her backstory. Erica, you should write a book. I hope you have some type of foundation for foster children or children that have been abused, things like that. Because you probably can really, really be a good spokesperson for how to overcome that. You know, regardless, you have been successful and you've been through a lot. So definitely kudos to you. But I really enjoyed hearing more about you. And Erica, I hope that you're able to overcome and recover. And, you know, I really hope you get into some therapy, because you seem cool for real. You just seem like you have a hard exterior because you've been through a lot. You be on some, you've been trash too, Erica. Okay? I think you know that, but I believe in redemption. And I always have a soft spot for people who've been through a lot, because I've been through a lot. And specifically, you know, you haven't lost your parents, but You have abandonment issues, and that's something that I've suffered through from losing both of my parents. So I can resonate with that, and it's hard. It's really hard to get over that. So I definitely pray for your healing with that. So anyway, you guys, I will definitely come back next week with part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Carlos, you did good. Your bestie here. I said you did good. You did great. So I definitely am seriously enjoying your interviews. Keep them coming. And I am excited about part 2. Okay? So with that being said, you guys, thank you for listening to my commentary. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Like, subscribe, share, all of the things. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.